in the interview, not only coding questions are asked, but a lot of questions are asked of various core subjects like your OS, DBMS, networking, and also the OOPS concepts. So make sure to have a good command over these subjects as well.
So hi everyone, welcome to Placements Ready. Today we have Abhishek in another set of podcast where he will share his Paytm interview experience. So Abhishek, please give a brief intro about yourself.
So hi everyone, this is Abhishek, and I'm currently pursuing a BTech in Computer Science from BIT Misra. I'm a fourth year student, and recently I got placed in Paytm as a software engineer. It was through an on-campus placement drive. I belong to Ranchi, from where I've done my schooling.
Okay.
Talking about my technical hobbies, I love doing competitive programming, which has helped me in strengthening the concepts of data structures and algorithms. Well, apart from it, I also enjoy doing web development, and I've created and hosted a website of my own. Well, yeah, that's all about me.
Okay, that's a very cool thing. And moving on, please share something about the interview experience.
Yeah, so the first round was the coding round, where we were given three coding problems.
Okay.
The first problem was of matrix, the second was of string, I guess, and the third was of binary search tree. Yes. So talking about the difficulty of the problems, it was like easy to medium, more towards the medium side. And yeah, whoever solved 2 out of 3 problems was shortlisted for the interview round.
Okay. Okay.
So now
So
coming,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
So like there were three questions basically, and if you see around all the topics were touched, like strings.
Yes.
Yeah, so like strings were there, binary search tree was there, which is a very cool topic when you talk about technical interviews and online coding rounds. So yeah, Abhishek, so continuing further, you were able to solve three problems, right?
Yes, I was able to solve all the three.
Okay, okay. So please give a brief roadmap to our audience who are preparing for the interviews and technique, like for a product based company. So what are your learnings that you will like to give to our audience?
So yeah, first of all, if you are in first year, uh, first of all, learn any programming language, be it C++ or Java or Python. If you learn more than one, it will give you an edge over other candidates. So when you have learned a language, try practicing some problems. Start off with something basic like HackerRank or HackerEarth. When you have achieved, let's say, 5 star or 6 star there, then you can move on to um, giving contests on Code Chef or Code Forces. And yeah, even solving on platforms like Spoj is also good, because there you will find various algorithmic questions which will help you out in building up your DSA. And yeah, DSA is very much important in cracking any top product based company. So now there is a debate between whether CP is necessary or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll talk about that later on. First of all, I'll talk about what are the things which are 100% mandatory to do when you want to clear any interview of any product based company. So first of all would be your DSA. Your DSA should be 100% good. Now, from where to practice? Like, first of all, you'll practice on HackerRank. Then you'll move on to solving problems on Spoj. And then we are done with that. Then move on to Lead Code or GFG, where you will find out the interview questions of almost any company. So I think solving as many problems as you can will increase your chances of getting hired. And you should also give contests like the weekly contests of Lead Code, which will help you out in clearing those coding rounds of the companies.
Okay.
Now, next.
Yeah.
So this was about DSA. Next most important is your core subject. So in the interview, not only coding questions are asked, but a lot of questions are asked of various core subjects like your OS, DBMS, networking, and also the OOPS concepts. So make sure to have a good command over these subjects as well. So this was about core subject. Now, third would be your project. Well, your resume will be um, not that much appealing if you don't have any project in it. So try to have at least one project in your resume, and you can choose anything like web development or Android development or machine learning, whatever aligns with your interest, you can opt that. And now coming to the fourth point, which is puzzle. Yeah, sometimes the interviewer may ask puzzle to you. So I would suggest you practice at least top 30 puzzles of GFG, and that should be more than enough. Puzzles are something कि अगर पहले से किया हुआ है तो आराम से बता पाओगे, नहीं तो इंटरव्यू में सोचना काफी मुश्किल हो जाता है उस मोमेंट पे पजल, तो पजल भी अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर लेना. एंड देन फिफ्थ इज योर एप्टीट्यूड, लॉजिकल रीजनिंग. In online assessment, not only coding questions are asked, aptitude questions are also asked, those MCQ ones. So make sure to practice those questions as well. There is also a time limitation, like you have to solve like 30 questions in 10 minutes. So better you practice for it beforehand.
Okay.
And then you would like to say something?
Yeah. No, continue.
All right. So now let's come to this topic, whether we should be doing CP or not. Like, if you see the questions of interviews, it is mainly of that lead code GFG type. So people may feel like, nah, CP is not important. Even if I solve the problems of lead code or GFG, I will be able to crack the interview. And yeah, it's true. But if you're doing CP and if you're good at it, it will surely give you an edge over other candidates. And in the coding round of certain companies, the questions asked are not of lead code level. Sometimes it's of code forces level. So if you are only solving problems of lead code, then maybe you will not be able to crack the coding round of those companies. And if you're not even able to crack the coding round, how will you give the interview, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, there are also certain companies who hire only competitive programmers, like your MediaNet, Coordination. These companies only hire competitive programmers. So if you want to get hired in such companies, then I would surely suggest you do some hardcore CP.
Yeah.
And one more point, that like if you're applying for off-campus placement, then there is resume shortlisting. And if you have good rating on CodeChef or Codeforces, the chances of your resume getting shortlisted will increase. I'm not saying that this is the only way of getting your resume shortlisted. There are also other ways, like if you are good on development or if you're contributing in open source, then also your chances of getting your resume selected will increase. But it is one of the ways. Like if you're interested in CP, then surely it will help you out in getting your resume shortlisted for further interviews.
Okay. So I will like to add one point. Like if you are doing CP, then lead code will be relatively easier for you. But if you
Yes.
directly jump onto lead code, you might find it difficult in order to solve that questions. But if you are doing CP, your algorithmic thinking will be good. You will be think of a solution very quickly, and you can code it as well, right? The only thing you need to practice is uh, how to approach a optimized solution through lead code and
Yes.
GFG. So yeah, that is the point that I wanted to add. And like Abhishek, we want to know further about your interview. You told about the coding rounds, like CP
Yes.
is necessary and DSA is also necessary. But what type of questions were asked in your interviews? Like
Yes.
it was all the topics were mentioned or are covered, or only DSA was there. So can you give a brief overview on that?
Yeah, sure. So in the first round of interview, first of all, we had a brief introduction, and then the interviewer asked me to explain the concepts of OOPS using the real life examples. When we were done with that, then he asked certain questions of OS and DBMS. Um, so the core subjects are also very much important when you need to crack an interview. And then he asked me to explain my project. And then he asked a question that why had I used the tech stack that I used? जो tech stack use किया वो क्यों use किया? और ये काफी कॉमन क्वेश्चन होता है कोई भी ये इंटरव्यू में, तो इसके लिए पहले से प्रिपेयर करके रखना कि कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट बनाया उसमें सर्टेन टेक स्टैक यूज हुआ होगा, तो वो क्यों यूज किया, क्या उसको प्रोज और कॉन्स है.
लाइक एटलीस्ट 3 पॉइंट तो जरूर दो कि क्यों टेक स्टैक वो वाला यूज किया. मे बी वो ट्रेंडिंग होगा या फिर बहुत सारे मतलब कम्युनिटी उसका अच्छा होगा, राइट? सो ये सारे पॉइंट्स आप मेंशन कर सकते हो एंड हो सकता है वो रिलेटिवली इजियर हो टू इम्प्लीमेंट. सो यू कैन ऐड दोज पॉइंट्स. सो इट इज लाइक या कंटिन्यू अभिषेक.
हाँ, तो ये तो एक जनरल क्वेश्चन है जो इंटरव्यूअर मोस्ट प्रोबेबली पूछेगा ही अगर कोई प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है तो. उसके बाद फिर ही आस्क्ड मी 4 कोडिंग क्वेश्चंस बैक टू बैक. The first question was of arrays, the second was of heap, and then the third was of recursion, which could be optimized using dynamic programming. And then the fourth question was a variant of binary search.
Okay.
So he tried to cover all the topics of DSA to check my knowledge.
लाइक मैं अगर बोलूं आप लोग को, तो जो टॉपिक्स है लाइक बाइनरी सर्च, ग्राफ्स, डायनेमिक प्रोग्रामिंग, हीप्स, ये सारा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इंटरव्यू के लिए. इससे गारंटी श्योर शॉट लिख लो कि आपको प्रॉब्लम जरूर आएगा, जो कि अभिषेक के केस में हुआ, राइट?
Yes.
हाँ, तो पहला इंटरव्यू आप देख सकते हो. जैसे पेटीएम तो स्टार्टअप है, लाइक अभी करेंटली उसकी लिस्टिंग हो गई तो अब नो मोर इट्स अ स्टार्टअप. बट जब आई थी अराउंड प्लेसमेंट के लिए, दैट वाज अ स्टार्टअप. एंड जो स्टार्टअप होती है ना, वो सिस्टम डिजाइन, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, डीबीएमएस सब कुछ फोकस करता है, ठीक है? प्रोजेक्ट्स भी आपके लाइक थोड़े अच्छे होने चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि एक सिंपल सा टू डू लिस्ट बना दिया. तो थोड़ा अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट करो, वो सब भी चीज ध्यान रख दिया जाता है. और डीएसए तो आपका बिल्कुल ही बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए. एंड या अभिषेक, सो हमारा पहला राउंड हो गया क्लियर. उसके बाद हम लोग, हमारा सेकंड राउंड था. तो
हाँ, तो पहले राउंड में अगर डीएसए क्वेश्चंस का बात किया जाए तो डिफिकल्टी वाज अबाउट इजी टू मीडियम, more towards the medium side. So if you're practicing problems on lead code regularly and if you're also giving the contest regularly, I think you will be able to crack such companies.
Okay.
But you need to be consistent in that.
Okay, okay. So like second round में फिर क्या हुआ?
Second round वाले को theory काफी ज्यादा पसंद था. He asked me a lot of questions from the core subject, like be it OS, DBMS, networking, OOPS concepts, then theoretical questions of DSA, a lot of theoretical questions. So here you can observe that theory also matters a lot. You should also have a strong command over the core subjects as well, apart from coding. And then finally, he gave me a coding question. Well, it was an application of binary search. It is a very famous problem. Its difficulty level is, I guess, medium. And since I had solved that problem before, I was able to solve that problem easily. But here I will give you one tip, that do not directly jump to the optimal solution. First of all, propose a brute force solution to the interviewer. Then slightly improve it by its time and space complexity. And then slowly but gradually come up with the most optimal solution.
Okay.
And one more thing I would like to add is that even if you have solved a problem before, पहले से कोई क्वेश्चन बनाया हुआ है और वही इंटरव्यूअर पूछ दिया, then also pretend that you have never seen that problem before and you are solving it for the first time. Just pretend, but try to be authentic at the same time.
Yeah, it's a like जो अभिषेक ने अभी मेंशन करा, that's a skill that you need to have जब आप इंटरव्यू दे रहे हो, ठीक है. And yeah, Abhishek, so last question for today, like how will you tell the audience how to manage DSA and projects?
को DSA तो most important है, you have to do it, but at the same time you also need to have some project in your resume, right?
Hmm.
So DSA तो regular practice करना है, and whenever you get some free time, like on weekends or your vacation, like your summer vacation or the winter vacation, then you spend more time on development, but keep on giving the coding contests as well, क्योंकि flow बना रहेगा, flow coding का नहीं छूटना चाहिए. So in vacation, give more time on development and the rest time on DSA.
Yeah. So like yeah, that was it. So thank you, Abhishek, for having a good time with us. So I
Thank you,
wish you all
Avinash,
the
for
best.
inviting me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, have a nice day.
So if you have liked this video, please subscribe to our channel for more such amazing videos.